This is called Her Majesty Queen Sophie. Her Majesty Queen Sophie, ordained beneath a halo of imperial elements, created herself from herself, every particle, hair, thread in phototropic dance. Her aura of elemental beads and bracelets, feathered, lured, baited with lavender. Right eye sun, left eye moon, third eye Horus. Attuned, atoned, a crystal microphone, a golden triangle sacred and immortal. Her rainforest of locks, power lines transmitting spirit. Gospel mouth seeding black pudding earth with fertile ululations. Her first praise song, a rainbowing sail unfolding midair. Colors from her throat ripening into their own weight and logic. Her Majesty Queen Sophie did not bother with Adam or Eve, but instead roasted a root ball that opened steaming into family, the poured foundation to a pyramid of divinity. Her Majesty Queen Sophie had a premonition. She saw a fatally wounded country, headless, hemorrhaging multitudes, chained for sale, cutting swaths through the desert. A collapsing landscape trembling with greed. She saw the silky fabric of the ocean fevered, jellied with blood, chanting unfinished prayers in its foaming mouth. She saw shaman toss a murmuration of Sankofa birds towards a chalkboard sky, becoming notes on sheets of sacred vapor only God could read. She saw a flotilla of vessels like wedding cakes, bloated with spectral bridegrooms, as death offered its ceremonial benediction before jumping its own broom. Her Majesty Queen Sophie screamed livid about the future. She saw land more valued than the people orphaned upon it. She wept, there is no appropriate trade for any dead. Then watched ships stumble drunk through the fog towards a land of fevered infants screaming in a black bassinet behind a crib wall of bones. She stepped forward after them as planets went retrograde, bowing like soldiers. Crossing the threshold of the ocean, she spread her apron beneath an armada of ships, shedding its dead weight of shadows in ribbons of crimson bubbles. Imagine a school of volcanic sparks too hot to evaporate in the gelatinous atmosphere of the Atlantic. Come elements, come assemble. Let this day turn on divine behavior, she says, waving her purse-seiner apron beneath spirits shaking off their debt to life, bodies falling in spent casings. She flung them up into the blue-black canopy of space, elevated spirits crocheted into the digital graph of eternity. A convoy of the disappeared assumed into a corona of stars. This, a version of corrective rapture, rapture with purpose at history's altar, ending in hovering drones of kente print Kofis as an asteroid field, each a heart, a hearth, an ancestral campfire left burning on the porch to guide kinfolks home. Thank you. This, if God says the same, as my mother would say, is intended for the next book, if I get blessed to do that. This poem is called Phantom Pain. For anything to be made, something must be broken open. I am a collage of every cracked vessel. I am a sheet of glass shattered back into sand. I am every mother. I am an artist. My breast once held and fed children, now it nurses ancestral grief. My experiences have pulverized me, and yet my grains persist. My wound is a phantom limb with which I sketch and paint. I dip my brushes into homemade ochre tears while oceans of elders instruct me with their spectral gospel. History books have been set in the blood type of my family. It is a text that never dries, its oldest pages smearing like fresh mosquito bites. In most families, men are as easy to lose as keys or lighters. Just ask my father. We lost him to a tall tree and a short rope. It's why I cry whenever the wind chimes the leaves of trees in parks named after dead civil rights leaders. For example, this park, once percolated with children, now it's just the rubber dandruff where something has been erased. I aim to fill those erasures while art police critique my sons into the ground, killing in the other what they can't kill in themselves. In my work, I migrate from Michigan to Missouri, collecting loose remains of young men, an ear from Detroit, an eye from Chicago, a hand from Pensacola, scattered through every street like half-smoked cigarettes. In front of this liquor store, for example, 40,000 eyes watched my son vanish into aerosol and collectively said nothing, assuming him untitled, unvalued at auction. In every city, blackness is an easy target. Too often there's more material than can ever be used. Too many memorials mushrooming in cities collapsed into complacency. They used to say, blacks don't feel any pain, so what's a little murder among neighbors? I come from a people who stand accused of being black, of wanting to matter. We know if you stare at a canvas long enough, something breaks the surface like a serial of bullets, pushing the blankness until blackness appears. I am an artist. These streets are my studio, and here are my tools. 2 cups of malt liquor blood, a plethora of preferred acids, 1 cup hair, natural weave substitute okay, 1 package Skittles uneaten, 41 shots of liquor or tears or whatever, 1 teaspoon of Newport or weed ashes. Combine into a batter until names of minor saints rattle your tongue. Become angry and feel helpless. Call the police if you're feeling suicidal. Question who is being protected and who is being served. Bake in a studio apartment in a neighborhood of the disappeared for an entire summer until the screaming toddler in the background forgets what she is crying for. Season to taste with your open wounds. Mine are like a rare flower petals, a kind of eczema unique to loss. Don't let your white hand know what your black hand is doing. Serve and keep serving fatherless children from a plate filled high with stars. Thank you so kindly. I wanted to end with something really quick and short, and this is the new, and there you go. This is just me actively listening to a singer from the 1920s, 30s, Marian Anderson. I found a recording of hers and a song that I had known very well, but I'd never heard her. And to be honest, I'd never heard a woman do this particular song. So this is me listening to Marian Anderson sing Go Down Moses, recorded in 1937. The vinyl noise floor of a 78, sound of an inflamed red curtain opening before an audience of ghosts filling the ether. A pianist primes the black air in an imagined drawing room. All these years, this song was launched by bass throat cannons, Robeson digging the lyrics for oil. To hear it aloft, living through her voice, symphonic and vowel elegant. Listen for the sonic architecture as she spires up onto her toes on the name Moses, her mouth a begging bowl of blood. The power lines feeding her voice nearly snapping before collapsing on the fainting couch of the word Pharaoh. She must sing engaging her entire body, siphoning sound up from the earth's core, converging lyric and heart into a shower of sparks from her throat. The pianist hurries through their solo. Get back to the story they seem to play. Marion's voice obliges, igniting. The piano ascends and cascades, unable to find or maintain a balanced melody equal to the skills of the vocalist, who attempts, with her voice, to spin the sun on its axis like a dime. The pianist races up and down the scale, sweating, exasperated, their fingers dissolving before returning us to the warm hail of crackling vinyl, the sound like a starfield of bubbles in a flute of champagne. Thank you so much.